In a world where two short-term rental bros come together.
What?
Not in that way, bro. There's a podcast of truly epic proportions where we talk about all things short-term rental and shoot the shit along the way. Welcome to the Co-Host Bros Podcast. Here are your hosts, Matt Codd and Austin Spitz.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Co-Host Bros Podcast. My name is Matt Codd and I'm here with Austin Spitz. And today we're going to do a Q&A. But first, before we do a Q&A, Austin, I just wanted to let you know that on one of your YouTube shorts, you got a hater today, and it's the first hater we gotten, so that's good to see. So I'm going to read you the comment that he said, and I want to know how you feel about it, and everybody else wants to know, because I think this is going to be fun for everybody. I think we're going to enjoy this. So a guy at Venego 8254, sounds like he's so stupid that's probably his PIN number to his debit card, but he left you hate, and it says, because he has one AirPod in, I can tell he knows nothing of business, and he knows nothing of proper English. How do you feel, Austin?
I'd have to agree with him. I've never done a show without two AirPods in, so I'm not sure where he got that from. But I think it should be a celebration because we've got our first internet troll, and I think that's a milestone that we want to reach because it means that somebody's looking at it. And I just want to say to whoever this geek is, let's just say thank you for helping the algorithm, and we appreciate you, whether it's negative or positive. You're helping us out at the end of the day. So I don't know, it's going to be tough falling asleep at night after hearing that one. So
Yeah,
hopefully
it's rough.
it might take a few days for me to get past it, but he hit me where it hurt.
Yeah, thank God you weren't wearing Beats headphones. It may have been a different story, That was really a tough one. I mean, I went through and liked his comment, and I just let him know that, next time that, we'll use both AirPods and that we were caught red-handed. So I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't want to get canceled. And I want to sincerely apologize to those people that are offended if Austin or I have only one AirPod in. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I grabbed my other AirPod and put it in my ear because I'm truly deep down sorry from the bottom of my heart. I really am.
Yeah, too bad we're both doing 75 hard. Otherwise, I would crack a beer to celebrate our first internet troll. So hopefully, he could tell his buddies to chime in too and get some more troll support going.
I'm really trying not to die laughing. I'm just holding my grin in. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I'm destroyed, but I think I might manage to be able to go to sleep tonight. But so we'll start with the Q&A. So I'll go ahead and go first. Ask you what for your platform. I know in your market you need a lot more. It's more marketing intensive, as like a lot of maybe not as many people are coming to your area as much. So you're more of the marketing guy for this. But what do you do outside of Airbnb and VRBO to promote your listing?
Well, I'm on booking.com too, but I run Facebook, Instagram ads. I do email marketing. I do offline marketing by giving branded items, things like that. I run promotions. I post and buy, sell, trade Facebook groups. I provide value. I run contests at my house, social media contests, to get the word out there. So basically, like anything that I can do to show up in front of somebody is like what I do. And if you thought of something else that I haven't thought of, just DM me. But I just pretty much do everything I can to be everywhere I can. I even have my handle on my car. I drive my car everywhere with it on there. Anytime I'm hanging out with people and we're gonna go crack a beer and you and I were gonna go down to No Label or whatever, I would have brought my koozie with me, just so I wore my koozie everywhere I went. Usually I wear my hat for my rental. Right now I just wear Co-host Bros hats because I'm kind of doing something similar with us, trying to put us everywhere. So yeah, I just try to put the brand everywhere,
Yeah.
every way.
No, I feel you on that. I think, that's specific to yours. I don't do too much. I think the only promoting I kinda do out there, like you said, is in Facebook groups or going out to try and get longer term bookings for, whatever I see kind of online. But also then the thing I wanted to touch on was the other way I promote online is, like, kinda not really directly. It's more of like in the short-term rental favorite Friday groups. Most people at this point probably know what they are, but if you're listening to the show and you're new, basically a lot of these short-term rental groups every Friday they'll post, a Facebook post where you can send your listing in. The rules are, you got to like and comment, or you got to like other people's listings on Airbnb or VRBO, and then you can share yours and they'll like it back, and that'll kind of help you in the algorithm by getting likes and favorites. Is there data on that to support whether it really works, doesn't work? Probably so. Do I know what it is? No. But do I do it every Friday? Yes. So I think the way I promote my listings is, especially if I get a new one and I need some momentum, it's putting them in these Facebook groups where other people are engaging with your listing, and you're also giving back by engaging in there. So that's
Well,
important to
anytime you drive traffic to your listing is good for you, is good for your listing, good for the algorithm on no matter what page. Um, I think every listing platform, they all go by similar things. I mean, just because the algorithm is different, but view counts and likes or reviews are really part of it. So anytime you get someone to see your listing, that's good, I think. Uh, I do recognize that I do a lot more to drive traffic than most people do for the listings, and I've been realizing that more and more as I do talk to some people. There are lots of people that do exactly the things I do as well, but a lot of people don't. And it's funny because I just think to myself, like yesterday morning, even like probably it's been going through my mind for like last month, like probably once a week. And I'm like, I should just start a Facebook ads company for short-term rentals where I run your Facebook ads for you. But I'm like, do I really want to do that? Like I don't really like doing Facebook ads, but it's like I'm not that bad at them. So like my cost per click in comparison to other people's Facebook ads is like way lower. Like most people run ads. Like if you run an ad like mine by like mine, for your rental or for Door retreats or whatnot, your average cost per click would probably be about 21 cents. That's generally what it is for them. My average cost per click is under 5. So it's like it's totally, and Facebook will tell me that, like, hey, the average cost per click for this type of ad normally is this much. But I'm usually way under that. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it. Like, I don't know if that's what I want to do. And I don't really know how to price that. But I know a lot of people struggle with doing Facebook ads, and that's hard to do. And it is hard and it's complicated, and they change the damn format like every month. It's really annoying. But there's just so many things that you could do. Like I'm probably going to create a Facebook ad tomorrow with all the leads that I just got for co-hosting. Um, maybe not tomorrow, maybe I don't know. I'm working on creating a free ebook for like the 10 steps to improve your listing on your page, and I was going to market that to them as a free book, just to those people. And if I do, I'll give it to our audience. But yeah, so that was my plan, just to kind of bring them in, and then I'll do a lookalike list over those 500 emails that I have, and then hopefully bring additional people in and get their emails. And yeah, just kind of be everywhere on that. So
Yeah, I think it's something we'll do long term, but I'll probably won't spend the time figuring out how to do Facebook ads. I think it's just once I get to the point where I can afford, to pay somebody to just do a Facebook ad or marketing campaign or something like that. That's what I'll do. I've tried to do it before, but not specifically for properties, just more for our coasting brand. And it's one of those things I didn't spend the time to really figure it out. I just did it, and when that happens, you just probably not going to succeed, which happened with me. But I don't want to spend any more time, and I just able to get clients and um, more conventional ways. So that's been working for me. So at some point I'll probably need to figure that out or get somebody to figure that out. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have an advantage though, because you can always call me and I can help you. So
Yeah, that's true.
you have an advantage over the other people. And I don't know if I'll start doing that, but it's just something I've been thinking about a bunch. Like, God, everybody always asks that, and you can't. When somebody says, "Oh, well, how do I do a Facebook ad?" I can't type it out on a comment on a post and explain to you step by step how to do a Facebook ad. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, it's just way too complicated, and there's too many different variables. Like, are we going to one geographical location? Are we going by income? Are we going by ethnicity? Are we going by male? Are we going by female? Are we going by dog lovers, cat lovers? Like, there's just more shit. And then what's your budget? Like, there's just more shit involved than people think. So they're like, oh, well, how do I do it? And I'm like, yeah, okay, just click this button, it's done. Like, no, it doesn't work that way, and it
Yeah.
is complicated. So I mean, some people might not think it's complicated. I think it's complicated. I think they could make it a lot easier, to be honest. That's what I think.
I think it's complicated enough that people are paid to do this. You know, it's like a lot of businesses have people that do this for them, and it's
oh, for
obviously
sure.
not as simple. It's not as simple because there's wouldn't people if it was that simple, everyone would just do it, and people are making money off of it just by running a business. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's not easy. But I think we beat the dead horse on that. So
question number
oh
two.
yeah. Question number 2. What is
Um,
question number
let's
2?
let's go with what do you think? What are some of your best best practices to get 5-star reviews? I butchered that question, but best practices to get 5-star reviews. What do you do?
What do I do that makes it easier for me to get 5-star reviews? Okay, so what do I do to get 5-star reviews? To help me get 5-star reviews, and what do I do to actually get people to review? So it's all kind of similar. So you build relationships in your messaging. You messaging the day after, all these things. But what I do, and I learned this from Bill Faith, and I implemented it because I was like, fuck, this is a good idea. So I've tried it and I've been testing it, and shit, it hasn't failed me. So um all I'll do is after the cleaner gets there and they quality control everything and everything's good, and they're like, "Oh yeah, our house is great, cool, perfect." As soon as I could leave a review, I'm gonna leave them a 5-star review. As soon as I leave that review, I'm gonna send them an automated message I already had prepared and hospitable. I'll just hit send instead. That basically says, "Hey Austin, thank you so much for staying with us at our family home. We really appreciate it. Good reviews really help us with our family business, and we really love to get a good review from you. Oh, by the way, I just want to let you know we left you a 5-star review because you are a fantastic guest, and we really hope you come back again. We really hope that we had a chance to earn," and I put that in caps, "to earn your 5-star review today. And if you had any kind of problems, please just let us know prior to leaving a review so maybe that we can get it resolved. Other than that, really have safe travels, and we just totally appreciate you." So, and that's just, that's kind of verbatim. It's not exactly, but it's pretty close to what I wrote, or what I write. And I'll send it to him like right after I do the review. And then right after I'll send him that, I'll send him another text verbatim with the same line. I hope we earned it, family business, yada, yada. I'll send him a text, the same thing, let him know we left him a 5-star review and all that stuff. Pretty much the same thing I just said is what I'll text, right? But not exactly the same as the message in Airbnb. And then literally like 99% of the time, within like 5 minutes, I got left you a 5-star review, left you a 5-star review, left you a 5-star review within like 5 minutes. I mean, most of the people I'll get that they will review you the same day if you do that. And if you do it right, it builds. So you got to think about it this way: is building pressure. So if you use your phone like most people do, and you have notification on Airbnb, which most people do because they're checking in as guests, right, or your hosts. So if I send you a 5-star review, you're gonna get a message immediately from Airbnb saying, "Hey, Matt left you a review, leave a review," right? Then you're gonna get a message from me right after that. "Hey, blah blah blah. Hope you earned all this shit, right? All my spiel. Then after that, you're gonna get a text message from me, or you might get a video if you spend a lot of money. I might send you a video, and then you don't have a choice. Like, if you don't leave a 5-star review, for one, you're gonna feel like an asshole. For two, if you don't leave a review, you're still gonna feel like an asshole, but maybe you just won't leave a review and you can get away with that, right? Because you have nothing nice to say, don't say at all, right? So if people don't leave reviews after that, I'll send them another reminder like 3 days out automatically. But other than that, like I won't send it again, because that's like, I look at it this way, like no news is good news. So if they don't want to leave a review within, like, after the last message I'll send out requesting it, I won't bother again, because it's like, I don't want them to come back on the 14th day and, you know, I'm tired of this guy messaging me. I'm gonna leave him a shitty review, right? So, but 99% of the time, if you message the guest and all those things, like I said, and you leave them a review, you gotta do it after you leave them a review. Don't just say it and not do it. Because I've almost done that before, and I was like, oh wait, let me go to Airbnb, leave them a review, or Verbo, leave them a review. But yeah, it really does subconsciously make people feel like they have to leave you a 5-star review. It's just, yeah, they feel like they're required, like they don't have a choice. You know?
Yeah, I do the exact same thing. I think the way that you're doing it is like the perfect way to do it for the most part. And then, at some point, like, don't you know when to stop? Like, you already know
Yep.
I did everything I could and I stopped now, because if you do it again, people are like, all right, dude, like fuck off, like I get it, but I'm not doing it. Like, some people just aren't gonna leave a review. It is what it is. But the way you have it set up is pretty much exactly the same way how I do it. Exactly kind of the same, checkout message, take a time to do this. And, it's a 4-star means that certain things were not met and you didn't have a good experience. And, it will help our business if you leave us a 5-star. And then I do exactly what you said. As soon as my cleaner reports no issues, uh, depending on the time, I send them the message, the same thing like you kind of do, is, hey, our cleaners just left. Thank you for being such great guests. I left you a 5-star review as a traveler. This will allow you to further, get accepted by other hosts, and it gives you a better reputation. When prompted, we would appreciate you do the same thing. And yeah, pretty much just the few little differences here and there, and maybe wording and stuff like that. But I think that's the best way to do it, is make sure you let them know that they were guests. You went out of your way to give them the 5-star review as a traveler, and how that would help them. And they're like, oh shit, well, he gave me a 5-star and I liked the house. Okay, well, it's easier. There's just certain ways where you don't have to work as hard. And then if you have a bad guest or a complainer or something like that, you just pre-schedule that message not to go out. And then you know, any of that kind of jargon in your messaging, you kind of want to tailor it to where it's like, hey, how can we just maybe leverage this one to slip through the cracks and not leave a review? But yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good method. The question being best practices. That's a good one to in regards to soliciting it. I would say another one that I do pretty religiously is like, I just give like free early check-ins. I think it's a no-brainer. And if you have the time to do it, just first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is like, okay, I got 5 check-ins today, whatever. You know that all of them have been cleaned, laundry's done, the houses are ready to go. 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever you start, get at your computer. Hey, just checking in to let you know the house is clean, it's ready to go. You can get there whenever you want. I think that just starts everything off on the right foot, versus people are like, oh, we don't have to wait until 4 o'clock. We were going to leave in a few hours. We could just leave now and get our trip started. So I think that just starts off on the right foot. And then people have this, you know, stigma about people that are always charging early and charging for late checkouts. And it's just like, if you can just accommodate that for free, that works for me. I'm just like, hey, house is ready to go. And I know that if it's a same day turn, then obviously you can't really do that. But I think that's a good one. And then the other ones is just like solving problems and how responsive you are and how much
Yeah.
you're accommodating them. But I think that's those are two really good ones. Your
It's
way of soliciting.
communication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your way of
Communication.
soliciting the 5-star is good. And then, communication. And then if you just let them check in early. And then, if the cleaner's not coming till the next day, you can do the exact same thing. It's just, you got to have the time to do this. And at scale, it's a lot more difficult. But if you still have that time to put in, you just can message them knowing their checkout Sunday, your cleaner's not coming till Monday. You can just say, hey, my cleaner is not coming until much later. You can check out whenever you like, even in the afternoon is fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't stress, take your time. And the early check-in, late checkout leverage is always super good, especially if something went wrong during the stay. Just try and push him over the hill to get him to leave late. So I think
Yeah.
those are two good practices, man.
Yeah, I had somebody well, let me reiterate on that first of all. So let me reiterate. So when you send these messaging and these text messaging, I will say too, like if it is a VRBO booking, then you need to send them an email too, because a lot of the people on there are older folk and they don't look at their text messages and they don't look at the messaging on the app. Like they're lucky they could book the property for some reason, but they'll look at the emails. So send them an email too. I also say like if you aren't doing what Austin's doing, so like if you're not giving people like free early check-in or late checkout if you can, which I only give free early check-in if they ask and if it's available. And if it's available, I only do it at 1 o'clock. I don't do any earlier. If they want to do it earlier after that, if I give it to them at 1 o'clock and they say, well, we wanted to check in at 10, at that point I would tell them there was a fee. But that's just me. But if you really wanted to like warm them up and you didn't have the opportunity to do all that stuff, before you send them the message about leaving them a 5-star review and everything else, like say your checkout time's at 10 o'clock and your cleaner by 11 tells you it's great, just send them a video message. You can send video text, don't be a pussy, get on the phone and just say, hey, like, thank you, Austin, so much for staying with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for how you left the house. The house is in great condition. My wife really appreciates it. She loves our family home so much. We really hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. I really hope that you travel safe, and we hope to see you again. Have a fantastic whatever Monday, whatever day it is, right? And that's just like warming them up because you haven't been able to leave the review or anything like that, right? But they get to see your face, they can put a face to the name, and things are more personable when you can see people. So it's like to me, I'm like, okay, I'm listening to something, and eventually at some point, I'm like, okay, who is that person, right? Or it's the same thing, like if you're watching a bunch of reels and stuff, and you're like, okay, who is that person? What other kind of stuff do they have out there? Oh, they have a podcast. Let me listen to that kind of stuff. So it just makes it more personable. So if the guest is getting a message at 11 and then they're getting a message at 4 o'clock that you're doing that, there's not really any harm in that. It's kind of like if you do it that way, I look at it like this. Like say it's 11 o'clock, I give you a message, right? At 3:30, by 3:30, those feelings I had for your video message are dwindling away. It's starting to get back in the back of my head, right? I'm focusing on my stuff. Like I pretty much almost forgot it even happened, right? But now you send me this other message. Now I'm like, fuck, let me go out of my way for Austin and give Austin the review he deserves, right? So it's like it's kind of like psychology. It's just little things that you can do. It's like, for instance, like scarcity. Like when the iPhone comes out, or the PlayStation comes out, or the Xbox comes out, like you can only get so many of them, and everybody rushes to go do that. Right? They create scarcity so they make more money, and it's people don't understand that and don't see it. They do it so they can sell the phone or the PlayStation, or the Xbox at full price for a longer period of time because they already know a year and a half from now it's going to be discounted. That's why they do it. Then they're discounting it to get rid of the rest of the inventory they have. So it's the same type of thing if you warm them up and you send them that text if you're having a terrible time and then or they had a terrible time or something, some kind of event happened and you're a little sketchy about it, like shit, they're gonna give me a bad review. I mean, just warm them up. Send them that video message at 11 o'clock. As long as the house is great, right? Don't just do it beforehand. Make sure it's good. Send them that, warm them up, send them another message at 4 when after you leave them a 5-star review. Apologize again and again. Tell them if they had any additional problems, please let you know prior to leaving a review. You'd really appreciate it. And you'll probably salvage it. Probably, I would say 99% of the time, you'll salvage that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, just to touch back on what you're saying, like, for like, when I offer the if the house is ready, like you're saying, like, nobody before 1 o'clock or something, what I see is, like, it's just a gesture, right? Like, the thing is, it's like they already have plans. This is the morning
Mhm.
of, they're not scrambling, so whenever I say at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're normally coming from a city 3, 4 at least hours away, so they have their travel plans established. The fact that I go out of my way and I say, "Hey, you can check in early," 90% of the time they get there either at or after 4 because that was their original plan. So it's like either
Yeah.
way, nobody really ever actually checks in early. So it's very deceptive, but I'm not lying because if you do get there early, it's all good. But I also know in the back of my head that was me being nice, but also you're probably not going to get there early anyways. It never happens that way. It's always after 4,
Right.
before or after 4 because they already had the plans. So if you just offer it, you're just like, I'm being nice and accommodating, but I'm also like, it is what it is. They already have
But
plans at that point.
yeah.
But
Yeah. And most of the time people will be like, well, thank you so much, Austin, but we already planned to be there at this time because we're already doing this, this, and this, and this, and this. So we gotta take Johnny to the zoo first. So it's like you're right. They most of them won't. There's people who've asked me for early check-in. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Code works at 1 o'clock. And they didn't show up until like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'm like, okay. Like, just in
yeah,
case, you
yeah,
know.
and then I like the video idea for you, like, if there was a way to automate that in Hospitable, that would be cool. I don't know if that's a thing, but the thing about it is, like, what I would like to do is maybe I would incorporate that. I wouldn't do that for every single guest personally, just because it would take too much time and it won't be worth it. But I would think, like, if you could make a generic video of yourself that they would have no idea that basically you reuse this every single time. If I could make a generic, very personal video, I guess without using their name, it's kind of hard, but if you could do exactly what you said, utilizing the video at checkout. Thank you for leaving the house in such great shape. You guys are amazing guests. You guys can come back anytime without making it seem like you send that to everybody. I also like that idea, but can you video it and put it in Hospitable and automate that message is the question,
No.
which you probably
Mm-mm.
can't because then I got to go, okay, well, I got to go find their number. I got to go text it to them like, yeah, that shit ain't going to happen. But
I just
I
do a
like the
video on
idea.
your phone, dude. I'll send people all throughout the summer. I'll send them a video, tell them thank you for booking. I'll just get my phone, just be like, hey, Austin, thank you so much for booking our family home. I'm looking at my phone for everybody who doesn't know. Thank you so much for booking our family home. We really appreciate you coming. We hope that you have as many memories at our family home that we do and have a fantastic time. If you have any issues, I'm one phone call away or message me on the Airbnb app. Thank you again so much and have a great time. Boop. That's it. That was 15 seconds. But if I
So
sent
let's
that
say,
to you and you booked with me, you'd be like, wow, right?
I think I'd be like, wow, dude, this Matt guy is a douche.
You think so? You
No, I'm
douche
just
canoe
kidding.
me, huh? You'd be like, douche canoe? No, I
No, no,
mean,
no.
yeah.
No, I think
I
it's
get,
I think it no, I think it's a great practice. My thing is like at scale, you can if you let's say you get to 10 co-host properties and everybody's checking out on Sunday, you're gonna sit there and send 10 personal videos out all day. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm with you though, man. I like it. I really do like it. And I think
I'll
I
give you
would
a
enjoy
prime
it.
example. I'll give you a prime example. So you would
Uh-oh.
know this because I know you listen to Andy Frisella's podcast. So
Mhm.
we both like Andy Frisella's podcast, everybody. So if you do too, hey, if you don't, sorry. Either way, don't care. However, he says that, oh, when somebody buys something, I always send him a handwritten note, right? I've bought 2 things from him in the last month, and I've gotten a handwritten note both times. Not necessarily from Andy Frisella, but it was from people that worked at his organization, and it still means something, right? So it's like if you hired a VA and the VA did a video and just made it personal, right? Like, hey, my name's Vivian. I'm the Austin's assistant from Blue Door Retreats, and we just want to thank you so much for staying at Austin's family home. He has so many memories there that he told us all about, and it's just crazy the things that him and his wife Amber and his dog's done over there. It's just great, and we really hope you have a fantastic time. Oh, by the way, we noticed that you're bringing your dog too, so we have some balls and some bowls in this cabinet here. And thank you again. Really just hope to see you. If you have any problems, just give me a call. If you can't get a hold of me, Austin's available at this number. Thank you again. It's still personal. It's still personal, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like
No,
you can do it at scale. You just have to have other people do it when you're at scale. I mean, you did.
yeah, I think no, I love that, dude. That's like a really good point too, because I know that how he kind of runs his business and does it that way with everything is just like top notch, and I think he mentions it is on the podcast too, which is a really good book. It's I read it last year. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality, and then I've read it once. And after I read it, I said there's like a group of books that I read once a year, and I just added that to my once a year collection. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality, and it's basically the exact same thing, like you said, of how Andy runs his business, and I think that's good. I think that's a good point. I think, yeah, I probably should change my mindset on something like that because you should be top notch, top level service, and there really shouldn't be an excuse that why you couldn't do it at scale. I guess me specifically doing it at scale doesn't make sense, but to your
Yeah, but
point,
if I was in your position, I would do it for high value bookings. So
yeah,
if somebody books a weekend, right? Canyon Lake, who cares? But if somebody books a week, or or just say like put a price limit on it, right? If it's a $5,000 booking and above, I'm gonna send them a video message. I want to make sure I do that every time, right? Just
sure.
put a value on it, because who in Canyon, is it Canyon Lake? I think it is, right? Who in where you are, or New Braunfels and all that area, who's doing that?
Nobody.
You find me
Probably.
one property manager, one co-host, or one owner that's doing that. That's being that personal with you, besides just saying, here's door code, have a good time. Most of them aren't even sending a message the next day to see if everything's okay, which is ridiculous. And
Yeah.
if you're not sending a message the second day, like the day after somebody gets there, asking if everything's cool, like, and you don't send messaging the whole time, you're doing your guests a disservice, and you're opening them up to complain about something that's happened. If there's an issue and you don't message them, they're not going to feel like the lines of communications are open. Like, they're not like, okay, I come from a corporate world. I've had over 250 employees at one time to manage. I always had my door open. They were like, why is your door always open? People always come talk to you. They don't really, but they know that they can. So it's like, it's the same thing with your guests. You need to keep it open, like the lines of communication, it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
important.
I think it's an industry thing, and it's something that you have to fight through. And I think it's like a lot of these property management companies at scale that those things as you scale tend to go out the window because it loses its personal touch as you scale. So like me personally, that's very very my kind of like core values of what my company is like to scale and figure out by any means necessary not to let those kind of things fall through the cracks. So I completely agree with you, like how to build a hospitality brand at scale where execution is still there, that personal touch is still there. The guest feels like they're communicating with a person, not a company. I think that's really my why of like why I'm trying to build all of this is like solve the problem that like a lot of these big property managers, and then you go on their page and they have Airbnb reviews of like 4.6 and below and stuff like that. It's like there has to be a way to do it, and that's just what I'm trying to figure out personally. But
Yeah.
yeah, at scale, it's challenging. The thing is, how do you make it work? So that was a good example of how could do something like that for sure.
I mean, you could do it without the name, like you say, but and in the text just mention their name, like, oh, hey, Austin, I left you a little video, yada, 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 and not say their name in the video and probably still make it pretty personal. Um, but if you've read How to Influence Friends and what is it? How to Influence, what is it? How to
I don't
Influence
even think I've read it,
Friends,
but I know it's. I don't even think I've read it
How
yet, but
to
I know how
Influence
to.
People and Make Friends. I'm sorry.
No, that's not
Okay. Is it
it.
not it? Is it not it?
How to it's on my list, and I just know it's how to win friends and
Ah,
influence people,
there,
but I
yeah,
haven't read it.
I'm
I'm a
reading it
hypocrite,
and I
so
can't say the name right, but I'm the one who hits the head on the nail, so it doesn't really
there
matter.
you go.
There's a chapter in there where they talk about like knowing somebody's name and saying their name is the most like precious sound to their ears than any other word in the English language. Like if I say, "Hey Austin," like you hearing your name when and it's true, because if you really think about it, like when you're listening to something like a higher level and they say your name, but they're talking about somebody else, you're like, "Ooh, they just said my name." You know, things like that, or like you're watching something and I don't know, whatever the case may be. And there's certain instances where somebody says your name, but they're not saying your name, but they're saying your name, but not talking to you. You're like, oh, like you get that feeling, right? So their name is like that's the I don't know what the downfall would be on that, but I think by you not doing it, you're probably losing some repeat guests. You're probably losing some revenue, and you don't know it. You never know though
Yeah,
unless you test it.
yeah, I do that in every message to make sure, just like even when communicating with people in general, I just always use their name because I know exactly what you're saying. There's just like a little feeling to it to where it feels better when you're messaging somebody using their name. You just can't explain it, but it works. And I do it in every message and it does work. But I don't know why,
Yeah.
how, but it's important. But Anyways, cool, man. Well, want to do one more or what?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We're just
I
rolling
have
right along over here.
I have one that's I'll take this one, and it's like how to pitch clients, because I know you're building your co-hosting business. You got your leads, you're ready to rock and roll. You're making the calls, setting up the calls. So how do you pitch clients, and what are your strategies for sales calls? So I'll start off by saying that what has always worked for me is that you approach this in like a way of, you're not selling to them. You need to talk to them first and figure out what their problem is. So going into the sales call and basically saying something like, we do this and we do price labs and we do SEO, we move your pictures around, and we do, do we have guest communication, all this stuff that everybody else already does. They don't care. They don't care about any of that shit. They called you for one, two, maybe three reasons that these needs are not getting met, and they were interested in talking to you for some reason. Why is that reason? That's your job. Your job is to figure out what their reasoning is. And first of all, of course, before you even get into that, figure out what their background story is, where they live, what is their role and involvement in the business, and find out more of like, what tell me about yourself. Like, it's to me, every sales call is more of like, yeah, they called to inquire about our services, but I'm here interviewing you two because I'm trying to work with you for the long time. I don't want shitty clients, so I want to work with people that want to work with me and build long lasting relationships, right? Like, I don't want to come in and you're like trying to sell the house, but you just need it rented for the summer. No, I'm not in. I'm out. But the thing is get a feel for them first. Now, once you get into your kind of sales part of it, which I say is really just helping, you're jumping on there to basically solve their problem. If their cleaners aren't cleaning for the management company and they're getting bad reviews, how are you going to come in and fix that? If they're not making enough money, how are you going to come in and fix that? Just really figuring out how you're going to tailor your conversation with them based on how to solve their problem and get them talking. And I think the more you talk about your company, which they don't care about, the less likely they're going to be interested in you. And I think at the end of the day, the whole goal is just to help them out and point them in the right direction. And sometimes telling them, no matter what the property or owner looks like, if there is kind of like we talked about with Brenna, if there is another solution that something is better than you, then you should offer that to them. And I always push everyone first to self manage. Like, that's what you should do. A lot of times they realize they don't want to self manage, but I explained to them, hey, it's not as hard as you think it is. If you implement X, Y, and Z, and you tailor these systems in up front, you're probably only going to work on your property 1 hour a week, maybe, if you do it all right. And I tell them that, and I'm like, hey, I'm happy to consult you through and tell you how to do it if you want to try that first. And then a lot of times they're like, no, I don't want to do any of that. But thank you for the opportunity and telling me that I could do it myself, because now I understand that you're not just a sleazy sales guy trying to get my business. You actually really do care and you're trying to help me. So I'm going on this long tangent, and the point of the tangent is just have the call, figure out what their problem is, address it, show how you do things differently, but also most importantly, just find out what it is you can do to help them. So that's the way I go into all sales calls, and I don't pitch. I don't have a fancy PowerPoint. Maybe that'll change, but I do not think so, because I don't think that you shouldn't have to just sell yourself.
I don't disagree with you. I think that works with anything. So if you, I mean, it even says in the book too as well. But I mean, it's a practice that I know is that being in upper level management and things like that. But it's it's just enough about me, right? It's when I'm talking to you, you don't want to hear about me, unless you solicited me to talk about me. So if I want you to be interested in me, then I need to be talking about you. I need to be saying like, "Hey, Austin, so what what got you into doing this? Like, what can I do to help you? What kind of issues you're having? Oh, what would be a good suggestion? Here's what I would do if I were you, but you don't have to do it, and here's why you would do it. Those kinds of things, because the more you help people. So like, I was on a call last weekend, and we had talked about a little bit, and it was a good call, right? I mean, we talked to him. We just, found his pain points and kind of just talked him through it. And then was like, yeah, like if anytime you want to have another call like this and just have a conversation, totally have a call. We'll have a call with you. And he's like, "Oh, well, what is that? What does that cost?" And I was like, nothing. Just let me know. We'll book a time and we'll have a conversation. If you need to have a conversation, like I'll help you. I don't have a problem helping you. It's not a big deal. And then, I invited him to the meetup and he came to the meetup last month too. And like he got to meet other people at the meet. He got to meet the Haleys over there. And they were all chatting it up, and it was great for him. You could just tell it was great for him because every question he asked, he was getting answers from us because he's inexperienced, but he's like, it's great in more than one way because it's like you gotta look at it this way, like, okay, if the guy's inexperienced and he's getting all this advice from all the questions answering from all these people, well, one of two things are gonna happen. Either he's gonna have to make the decision to do all that work, or he's gonna make the decision to hand off the work. And if he does make the decision to do the work, but he knows somebody else who doesn't want to do the work, he might say, hey, I talked to this guy Matt, and he was really nice. He was a great guy, and he offered to help me any time. And maybe you should call him, see what he could do to help you. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You really don't know what's gonna happen. Like, my wife and I were talking about, like, I'm going to Dallas on Monday, and you and I have talked about it a little bit. And we're going to Bill's boot camp, and you know, my wife's like, "Well, why do you want to go?" She's like, "You already know all that stuff that he's teaching." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, "But I want to go for one to support Bill, right? Because Bill supported me. But I also want to go because I want to talk to more people or do it, especially in Dallas. If they're in Dallas, they might be from Houston. If they're in Houston, they need to connect with me every month. We need to go and meet up every month. We need to have conversations every month. Or if you're in Galveston or you're in Crystal Beach, or even if you're in New Braunfels, San Antonio, anywhere, if you're anywhere in Texas, I want to talk to you anyway. So it's like, I'm going to go. So so I can go hang out with people and meet with people. The material, I mean, I probably know the material, and maybe I don't, and I'll be okay with that either way. But it's like I'm looking at opportunities so I can go and maybe help people. So maybe I can go, maybe I'll meet somebody and they'll need help. And just how you and I met, we met, and we help each other all the time with everything, all the time. I'll text you a question, you text me a question, we have a conversation, like, and that's what's great about relationships is that and I know you're talking about selling, but it's like relationships sell, right? Like Brad Lee says, right? When have you not made any money from any of the relationships you have, or something like that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know,
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's just it is what it is. You just like lady I went out to meet her the other day, and she obviously reached out to everybody in the area, and some people sent some marketing material, some people maybe set an appointment later, and I was like, I'll just come out there today. I didn't have I have material. I honestly just forgot to bring it. I have, marketing stuff, and it just other people were like, here's our percentage, here's what we do. But I was like, no, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to walk the house with you, I'm going to tell you like what I think and what my opinions are and what we can do. And it's like, and she was showing me the stuff from the other companies. I was like, honestly, I really don't care. I don't even want to look at it. But if you want to, this is what I would ask them. Okay, this looks like a good option. I've heard of these people. They do good work. You should consider using them. But ask them based on what they sent you. What is this question, and this question? Get back to me on what they answer those questions. And then I'll tell you like if I think that's good or if it's different from what we're structured. So, anyways, yeah, it's just the same exact thing you said. Is just be genuine and just help people, and it'll always come back around. Like if you just keep doing that, like you may not get it right now, but you'll get it eventually. If you help this person and this person and this person, maybe nothing comes from it immediately, but it'll happen long term. So that's the whole
it's
point of that I wanted to bring up is like
yeah,
I think people have these elaborate pitch decks and they're trashing the Vacasas of the world, and they're like, this is what we do and this is why. Nobody cares. They called you for a reason. What is that reason?
yeah. Well, it's like when something negative happens and people are like, "Oh, don't let that live in your mind rent free." Well, if you're genuine and you're nice to people, you'll live in their mind rent free, 100%.
Yeah,
100%, because
exactly.
something will come up where like, oh, that reminds me of that time I had that conversation with Austin. Hey, Austin could help you. Let me give you his card. Like, you never know what people are going to say about you. You don't know what people are going to say negative. You don't know what people are going to say positive. Hell, there's probably people that listen to our episodes and talk massive shit about us all day long. Cool, no problem. Great. I'd love to meet you. But it's like it doesn't matter to me, right? But it's like that's just how things work. Like that's the human condition, you know. You have been around people that just so negative all the time. It's the same thing though. When you're around the people that are positive and go, "Oh, I got a guy for that," you know, you're going to be the topic of conversation. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
100%, man. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Especially when they ask for like, where's the best short-term rental advice? Like, I mean, we're brought up in every conversation around the nation, you know.
Yep. If we're not, if we're not, if we aren't now, we will be. So that's
Yeah,
fact.
yeah, if you guys aren't sharing this, like, with your friends and stuff, like, that's ridiculous. What are you doing? Like, we're not stopping and saying, "Brought to you by Dude Wipes." Like, give us some love. We only got 2 reviews on Apple Podcasts. What kind of crap is that? I'm pretty sure one of them was mine. Like,
Yeah.
hello? We get plenty of
Yeah.
listens.
And we need the trolls. Like, I mean, we got our first
Yeah.
troll, which was amazing. So I think we can we embrace the trolls. Don't like
Yeah.
leave us a bad review. We're not encouraging that, but you know, if you're a troll out there and you're helping the algorithm by you know whatever, bring it on, man, bring it on.
Yeah, we don't mind paying the troll toll, okay? You want to troll us up? We'll light you up. But no, seriously, like us, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Like, hello, we're here. We're not going anywhere. I mean,
Yep.
hello. I ain't got nowhere to go. I mean, we're busy. I mean, yeah, we got a lot of shit going on. And sometimes we're a little behind on the episodes, but one of us is going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to make the other one come to the plate. Don't worry. We're not recasting either of us yet. So like, subscribe, and share. So
Cool.
yeah, awesome. Well, I go ahead.
Well, I'll just say that's all I got for today for the questions. I think we did pretty good. Hopefully, help some people out. But that's all I got.
Well, I mean, hey, that concludes our episode today of the Co-Host Bros podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening. Please, like I said, like, subscribe, and share, and make sure everybody knows about this podcast. I mean, please. I mean, we'd appreciate it. So until next time.
Peace.
The Co-Host Bros Podcast.